Welcome to my channel.
Once upon a time there was a young unmarried man who lived by farming. One day he took a hammer to the forest to cut firewood. While he was chopping down trees, he saw a crow carry a sparrow and perch on a rock near where he was working. Seeing that, he suddenly felt sorry for the little bird that was about to fall into the mouth of the evil bird. He picked up a stone and threw it at the crow. The startled crow dropped its prey and flapped its wings to fly up. Angered by the loss of food, the crow cursed loudly. He picked up more stones and threw them and scolded. "You evil bird! Get out now!" The crow flew away angrily, threatening revenge. The guy ran back to pick up the barely alive sparrow, trying to find a way to nurse it back to life. Sure enough, just by crushing the beetle residue, the sparrow regained consciousness and was able to fly. It thanked him and asked him to sit and wait so he could give him something. A moment later, the bird flew back, holding a small bottle in its mouth, placing it next to it and saying, "This is a bottle of magic water that has the power to make old people become younger, small things become bigger, something no one on earth has." Then it flapped its wings and flew away. He sat down and hesitantly opened the cork and saw a full bottle of sweet-smelling water. He thought to himself, "These things are only for the mandarins to make, they are not for us to use." Then he carefully corked the jar, and when he returned from carrying the firewood, he hung the jar on the rafters of the house. And then time passed, because he was busy with business, he forgot and stopped thinking about that bottle. A few years later, after struggling forever, he was able to get married. His wife is also from a farmer's family. Her feet are dirty all year round, so she is unlucky and ugly. But the couple loves each other very much. One day the husband was away plowing, the wife was at home sweeping everywhere. Seeing a small bottle hanging on the roof of the house, she took a chair and took it down to open the button to see. When she smelled the fragrance, she assumed it was shampoo. After a while, she cooked bath water and then conveniently poured the water bottle out and applied it all over her hair. Unexpectedly, after applying it, she naturally became beautiful and white, and her beauty was second to none. The magical water flowed down into the onion beds next to the well, causing the onion plants to naturally grow in an unusual way. The bulbs were as big as lime jars, as long as poles. When the husband came home from plowing and looked at his wife's face, he was stunned and thought it was a fairy who had fallen to earth. If there was no voice, he would hardly have recognized it as his wife. Hearing his wife mention the perfume bottle, he suddenly remembered the story of the sparrow 3 years ago. The joy of knowing how to weigh, he looked at his wife forever without getting tired of his eyes, then told his old story to his wife. From then on, he kept clinging to his wife and did not leave. Farm work is therefore also tenacious. But when he stayed at home, he was hungry, so he had to go to work. In order not to miss his wife, he hired a painter to draw a picture of his wife. Whenever he went to the field to work, he hung the picture on the edge of the field to look at it. One day he was plowing the field, the painting was hung on a stake on the shore. As soon as he had plowed 10 rows, the old crow suddenly swooped down somewhere to grab the painting and take it away. The guy on the other side of the river saw this, and shouted after him, but he couldn't keep up. The crow had taken off to fly high and fly far away, disappearing in an instant. Taking revenge for his brother throwing stones at its prey, the crow brought the painting all the way to the capital and dropped it in the dragon yard. The guards, seeing the strangeness, picked it up and presented it to the king. Picking up the photocopy, the king looked at it forever and couldn't get enough of it. He said, "In my 3 palaces and 6 courtyards, there are many beautiful people, but there is no one as beautiful as the woman in this painting. God must have sent a crow to tell me." The king immediately ordered a mandarin and 100 guards to find and bring back the woman depicted in the painting. The mandarin sent people to the localities to search all the caves and alleys. To make their exploration effective, They staged festivals in the areas they visited so that everyone could come and watch. Every time they saw people gathered in large numbers, they put up the picture on a fake platform, saying it was caught by chance, and if anyone lost, they should come and claim it. One day, they went to the countryside where the man and his wife had a bottle of magic water and also held a festival for 3 days and nights. As expected, the guy fell into a scam. When he saw the painting, he didn't hesitate at all and rushed forward to receive it. But he didn't expect the soldiers to grab him like prey. They immediately followed him home and they immediately found the woman in the painting. They were so happy that they quickly brought the palanquin back to the capital, leaving their husband to mourn. After being taken into the palace, the woman did not smile, did not speak, did not wear a beautiful dress, did not brush her head, and did not allow anyone to come near. Bringing the beauty back to the palace, the king was very happy, but also very sad because all the coaxing and threats could not make the jade person smile. The king then ordered to announce among the people that whoever had a way to make her laugh, he would reward the noble mandarin. Hearing this news, there were many people, from famous clowns, laughing barons to physicians, witches and wizards, etc., racing to hope to use magic to make the woman fall. The mouth speaks and smiles hoping for a reward. But even though I tried all sorts of tricks, it was all ineffective. Talking about the husband, since his wife was taken away by the military officers, he no longer has any business to do. When he heard the news that whoever made the beauty in the palace laugh, the king would reward him, he knew that his wife was in the king's palace, so he decided to go to the capital to find his wife. Before leaving, he pulled up a few onions from the well and tied them into a burden. Arriving at the capital, he shouldered his burden and walked in front of the royal palace, shouting loudly. Along with the pole. Tubers with lime pots. Who buys my onions? Then love me. His voice echoed into the palace louder and louder. His wife's facial expression naturally became brighter and brighter. Finally, she turned back and told the maid. Call the onion seller for me. When she saw her husband's face, his wife burst out laughing. Seeing the woman smile and talk for the first time, the king was as happy as opening a flag in his stomach. When I saw the unusually large onion trees, I was surprised. The king thought it was thanks to these strange onions that the beauty talked and laughed. The king immediately had the idea of wanting to disguise himself and carry the luggage to please the beauty. The king said to his brother-in-law, "Put the onion back there and take off your shirt quickly." The king took off his long robe and threw it to him and put on his own shirt. The king also forced him to teach him to memorize the verse, then he had to go back and forth in front of the woman, calling out the chant to learn it. Seeing that, the onion seller's wife laughed bitterly. The king enjoyed it and became even older. But suddenly the woman told the maid to release the dogs. The dog saw the king, thinking he was a stranger, so he jumped up and bit him to death. The woman quickly told her husband, "Let's quickly climb up to the throne." The husband hastily climbed onto the throne while hundreds of mandarins and palace maids bowed their heads. From then on he became king and lived with his wife forever.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe to the channel to learn more useful knowledge.